JT Love Industries, JazzHandz, proudly sponsors our beloved song category, full of retro song covers, Glory Days. Good afternoon and welcome back to the special episode of JazzHandz podcast. Today we have the one, the only, Shadi.
Hi.
Oh, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm really well, thank you, Jordan. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I just thought I'd, since I'm running out of guests, I was supposed to have, I can't remember his name, from Sheffield Hallam to interview, but I'm going to sort him out later. So yeah, you're basically the second episode in release order, but the third episode in production order. So basically, but yeah, so before you begin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Shadi. I am a learning disability nurse and social work student, and I'm currently on placement here at Fly Cheese.
Wow. Alright, first question. What is your course at Sheffield Hallam?
So my course is the Learning Disability Nurse and Social Work course. It's a dual degree. So when I qualify, I will be a registered nurse and a registered social worker.
Cool. And how long have you worked there, and do you like your course?
Yes, I love my course. I've learnt so much since being there, and I'm just at the end of my second year. So this is my last placement of my second year.
Wow. Can you tell us a bit more about how you got into Sheffield Hallam, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I started doing caring. I've always been a carer, so I started caring for the elderly, and then I moved on to care for vulnerable adults, and I just knew it was something that I wanted to do, so I wanted to expand on that and get some qualifications behind me really. So I started the process. I did an access course with Sheffield College, and then I applied for Sheffield Hallam. Cool.
I have a couple of nieces and nephews myself. My eldest one's grown up. She's just broken up from her school at Hindhouse.
Yeah.
She's going to go to sixth form.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my baby girl. My baby girl's all grown up.
Aww.
And then I have a 5-year-old girl who's my youngest niece. Even though she's a little stroppy, I still love her, and I wouldn't change for anything in the world, even if I could. But she is my future, so I'm not going to pressurise my nieces, and I'm not going to leave them any, I'm going to let them figure out what they'd like to do by themselves.
Yeah, I mean 5-year-old, they are quite stroppy, aren't they? I've got a 7-year-old, and she definitely had her stroppy phase, and she was 5.
Wow. Well, I love being an uncle. I mean, my 6-year-old nephew, though, even though he can be a little agitating at times, gets the angry side from his, I'm not going to go through that right now, but anyway, so have you got one more year, or is this your final year?
This is the end of my second year, so I've got one more year. That starts in
So you graduate in 2025?
I do, yeah. Soon be here, won't it?
Cool. I mean, I just don't like the winter. I'm a summer baby myself because I'm nearly 27, so but yeah.
So you like the sunshine despite your hay fever?
Yes, as long as I've got my sunscreen on.
Yes.
Okay, so before Fly Cheese, what had inspired you to get into Sheffield Hallam?
It's always been in me. I'm a caring person anyway, and I really like working with people with additional needs, people that haven't always had the best start, maybe that are maybe disadvantaged or anything like that, where I can help.
You mean like dyslexia, Asperger's, any type of disability?
Yeah, any type of disability, any type of, we've got like social detriments as well. I like working with people that have, that might come from poorer backgrounds or anything like that really.
Cool. So, what are your goals for the future? Do you know?
I do know, yes. My goals for the future, although I don't know exactly where I want to work, I know I'd like to be a learning disability nurse with the social work aspect involved. I'd like to be a registered social worker as well, but just use that alongside the nursing so that I can advocate for my service users.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, my goals are to publish my comic book, get into voiceover, and sell some of my art, so I'll be able to do, because I'm in addition to voiceover and comic book artist, I am also a background designer and a title card artist. So I'm meant to be starting my own poster soon. I break up from my theatre group on the 17th, but I've not been there because I've been having a little break due to, you know, personal issues. But yeah, in my spare time, I like to do a lot of research, which I've been doing. I've been researching. Have you ever heard of this show called Euphoria?
No, I've not. Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, well, I've been doing a lot of teen girl research. I mean, there's a lot of teen girls that you may not remember, like we discussed McKenna Grace, Sydney Sweeney, if you've heard of her.
No, I haven't. I'm not very good with names, sorry.
Are you a retro celebrity fan? Are you a fan of Sandra Bullock? Are you a fan of Julia Roberts?
Yes, absolutely. I can remember those names.
What about Lauren Graham from Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
Courtney Cox from Friends?
Yeah, love Courtney Cox, love Friends.
Yeah, I can't believe she's looking good for her age, though. I mean, even though Jennifer Aniston is the most popular out of the Friends cast members, my sister's more of a Friends. I'm more of a Gilmore Girls fan myself.
Okay.
But Big Bang Theory is my least favourite. But I do know that Bernadette recently was on Night Court. She's the lead now, which I'm very happy for her.
Cool.
Melissa Rauch, obviously. I've been doing a lot of research on Alana Ubach, who I've just mentioned a minute ago on Euphoria. She's in the new TED TV series.
Cool.
And Patrick Brewster, who does... Have you ever heard of the show called Criminal Minds?
Yes, I've heard of it. I've not watched it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, well, she's been... Yeah, I know from that show, even though I've not watched it, I do prefer her other roles, just like Alana Ubach's roles. But, because I know that Sydney Sweeney, you know, and I enjoyed her in Madam Web despite not that many reviews. I mean, I respect her as an actress. I respect Joey King as an actress for her appearance in Ramona and Beezus when she was a little girl around 12 years old. Well, in fact, hang on, she was about 8 or 9 years old when it got filmed.
Wow.
But I know she's 25 now. I mean, she's in the new Despicable Me movie, which comes out in July. She was in the Kissing Booth trilogy, where she worked with, which I'm not going to mention, and she was in Bullet Train, which I found. Colour me intrigued. I thought she topped up her British accent pretty well. McKenna Grace, on the other hand, I'd love to see her in more stuff. I mean, I've only seen her parts of Ghostbusters, even though I'm not really a fan of the franchise, and I have seen her in other things. I mean, there was a remake called Young Sheldon, which I'm not really a fan of.
I've heard of it, but I'm not a fan myself.
Yeah, I prefer Night Court. I mean, Melissa Rauch does better in that show than Bernadette. I do prefer Abby Stone. I mean, I've never watched the original Night Court, but I know that Melissa Rauch does very well. I mean, take a look at those British TV presenters. I mean, even though I'm not a fan of ITV, Ant and Dec used to have a place, but I only have one place and one place only, and that has to be voice actors only. I mean, there has been a few Canadian shows which I used to like, such as Baba, Roly Poly Oly, Franklin, George Shrinks, Braceface, and 16, which is due to be its 20th anniversary.
I remember Baba. Is that without the elephant?
Yes, Baba and Rupert Baird. Now
yes,
they had the same. They had the same. It's the same company. It was Nelvana's early work next to the Care Bears.
Love Care Bears.
I mean, I grew up with John Stocker, Dan Hennessy, Chris Wiggins, Phil Williams, Susan Roman, Terry Hawkes, Janet Lane Green, who I may know from Little Bear, Andrew Sabiston. Yeah. So between all those and William Colgate and Joe Frappier, obviously.
Yeah.
Noah Reid, who you may know from Franklin, he was in Schitt's Creek, but Franklin when he was younger, Schitt's Creek as he used to be currently, even though it's ended. I know there's a Beetlejuice coming out, which Catherine O'Hara is going to return as. She's going to play the grandmother. of Jenna Ortega's character.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jenna Ortega, have you seen Wednesday?
I've seen bits of it. My daughters like that. They like Wednesday. It's more for them than it is for me. But
Yeah.
I have watched it with them.
Are you familiar with Christina Ricci's version?
Yes. Yes.
Well, Christina Ricci.
that when I was younger.
Yeah, well, Christina Ricci did a great job. I mean, I'm used to her and Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
But I do like the animated one, which had future voice actor Jimmy Neutron, who was voiced by Debbie Derryberry. She voiced Wednesday Addams in the 90s animated Hanna-Barbera reboot, which vaguely remember, but I have watched it in my adult times.
Yeah.
In opposed to other VAs, I mean, I had a lot of goals, but my main goal is to have a career. I don't really want children. I'm more of a career man.
Yeah.
Even though I need to shake off a bit, I do prefer working. I mean, I love my nieces, but I'm just going to let them decide what they want to do for their careers.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say you're very busy with your nieces, aren't you? So.
Yeah, I'd rather just focus on my career.
Yeah. And
because thing is, I don't really want to start a family.
Yeah.
And thing is, I don't even want to have. And thing is, I am a supporter of the LGBTQ community, even though I'm straight.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to bring too much up, but I recently did a LGBTQ song, which is going to be released at the end of this month.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah, it's not on YouTube at the minute. I'm trying to upload it, so I'll have to see. I'll just have to send it Wallace and see if she can send it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, please.
Now, if you don't mind, dudettes, what other goals are you wanting to do for your passion?
So for my passion, I would really like to just make a difference, and I know that sounds really cheesy, but I would just like, wherever I work or wherever I end up, if I can make a difference, even if it's to one person or to 10 people or as many people as I can, I just like to do my best and make a difference to individual people's lives.
Well, I totally understand that. I mean, take me for example. I want a difference myself. I want to bring back some nostalgia in my projects, because the animation industry has been absolutely, to put it, garbage. Absolute asinine. And the last thing I want is, because thing is, the Warner Brothers ruined my favourite franchise, Looney Tunes, which I'm really disappointed with. I mean, they have deleted, or are about to delete, a finished movie which they've wasted their money on, and I'm very disappointed to see it, you know, never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Which Coyote versus Acme, I think a lot of Looney Tunes fans are up in the air at the minute, and it's just a real shame. It's real cruddy actually to see a movie not see light of day, and it's not really that appropriate. But I'm happy that they've got a brand new fully animated movie which is called The Day the Earth Blew Up. Now, what's your opinion on Inside Out 2? Have you seen it yet?
I've not seen it yet, but I can't wait to see it. I love Inside Out 1. I think it's fantastic, and I've heard really good things about number 2.
Well, sorry to bring out a few spoilers, but Maya Hawke nailed it at her role of anxiety.
Okay.
I think I prefer anxiety to Stranger Things, because I'm not really a fan of Stranger Things, I got to admit, but Maya...
I quite enjoyed Stranger Things, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I respect your opinion. I mean, she's the daughter of Uma Thurman, the legendary, if you've heard of her.
Yes, I have.
So that's her daughter, which she's not that younger than me. She's only like a year younger than I am, but Joey King's like 2 years younger than I am. But I mean, they're all good actresses. I mean, Sydney, Joey, McKenna, Maya, even Leslie Mann's daughter, Maud Apatow, who was in Euphoria. Okay, if you had a celebrity and voice actor favourite yourself, who would you want to meet and why?
Ooh, who would I like to meet? So I'm going to say I really like me comedy actors. I like, you know, your Adam Sandler's, Ben Stiller's, you know, all your really old school comedies.
Oh, like Owen Wilson and...
Yes.
Are you a Steve Carell fan?
Yes, absolutely.
What about Sandra Bullock?
Yes, love Sandra Bullock.
Who else? Steve Martin?
Steve Martin, yeah.
Eugene Levy, ever heard of him?
I've not heard of Eugene Levy.
Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara, I've heard of the name, yeah. Oh, I know who she is actually, yeah, I can place
From
her now.
Beetlejuice and Schitt's Creek.
Yes, I can place her now, yeah.
She worked with Eugene on that show. Who else?
So I think I'm going to go for Adam Sandler, I think. That's who I'd have at my table.
What about Owen Wilson and David Spade?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. If we're having a dinner party, I'll invite them all.
Yeah, I'd have Steve Carell as my top, even as my top male next to Weird Al Yankovic and RuPaul, obviously.
Steve Carell is brilliant, isn't he?
I mean, even though Gru is getting a little edgy, I'm still going to give Despicable Me for a secret chance. I am a secret fan, so I always hide all my secrets when it comes to animation because I know how cheesy a certain company, but DreamWorks haven't done that well. I'm hoping to see The Wild Robot this year, and that has Catherine O'Hara in it.
Okay.
Lupita Nyong'o, she plays the robot, and Pedro Pascal, he's going to be playing the fox in it. I think it's going to be what's it called? I think it's going to be populated with just animals and a few robots.
Cool.
Okay, so any plans for you this summer?
Any plans for me this summer? I've got a holiday booked in September, so I'm going to go to Turkey. But other than that, no, I finished my placement. I think it's there for. I think it's around the 11th of August, I think I'll be.
So you have a few more weeks. Do you have a few more weeks here then?
Yeah, I've got a few more weeks here, so then I'll finish my placement and then I'll have a few weeks off with children. You know, just do some fun things. We'll spend some time together.
Well, that's what I call motherly love. I mean, I originally wanted to be a father, but I knew how much stress it would be, and
it is very.
And I am devoted to my work. I mean, my favourite inspirations are Chuck Jones. Yeah. He's my favourite cartoonist.
Yeah.
I like Hanna-Barbera, and I like Disney, and I like some Disney, and I'm very fussy with adult animation. I mean, Rick and Morty's been my least favourite. I've never had respect for that show.
Yeah.
Solar Opposites, I don't mind. But yeah, I'm more of a Family Guy, King of the Hill.
Oh, I like my Family Guy.
I prefer Family Guy to Rick and Morty, but I do like King of the Hill.
Yeah.
Futurama, I'll have a bit of Futurama in there. I mean,
I like Futurama.
Did you know that the main cast member, Billy West, is also autistic?
Is he?
Yep, I just found that out myself. I found out just a few weeks ago. I didn't realise Billy West had been diagnosed with autism, but I'm glad to hear that we have a few people in the voice acting industry have autism. So
absolutely, superpower.
I mean, Corey Burton's been diagnosed with Asperger's, which I knew last year, and I'm proud to say that we have 2 voice actors in the industry. JazzHandz will return after the break. And now, back to JazzHandz. So yeah, it's great that Corey Burton is in the voice acting industry. Yeah. So, and Billy West.
We're getting a lot more, you know, I've forgotten her name now, but there's the actress that has Down syndrome as well. She's been on quite a few Netflix things, hasn't she?
Yes.
I've forgotten her name now. I'm terrible with names. I told you.
What show?
She was in the film. Is it Champions?
I think so. With Zendaya.
Yes. Is it? Oh no, it might not be that one. Shall I have a little Google and see if I can find a name?
Of course.
because she's absolutely brilliant, and we're getting a lot more actors and actresses and people with, you know, platforms.
Disabilities.
That have got disabilities and learning disabilities, and I think it's absolutely amazing. And this is why we do what we do. We, you know, everybody should have these equal opportunities, shouldn't they, Jordan? And
of course. I mean, it doesn't have to be for the straight people or the gay or straight. It has to be everyone.
That's it. Absolutely everybody.
Neurotypical, mainstream. I call it neurotypical now because that's what my theatre groups call it. Dyslexia.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people with dyslexia. Down syndrome, like you said, because there used to be at my respite when I was younger.
She's called Sarah Gorder.
Oh yeah, I've heard of her.
British actress who has Down syndrome. She's best known for her roles as Katie Thorne in The A Word and Ralph and Katie.
Cool.
Yeah, I think she's brilliant.
Okay. What was your favourite TV show growing up?
Oh, favourite TV show growing up. What did I like? I loved Power Rangers. I loved Pokemon. I was a bit of a tomboy, Jordan. I liked me
Anime.
Yeah.
Are you a Studio Ghibli fan? Have you seen any of their movies, such as Spirited Away?
Yes.
Porco Rosso, The Cat Returns,
Yes.
When Marnie Was There.
Brilliant.
What's the other one? Kiki's Delivery Service.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Princess Mononoke.
No, I've not heard of that one.
What about Ponyo?
Yes, I've seen Ponyo.
The Boy and the Heron, the recent one that
Yes.
Miyazaki directed.
Yeah.
Are you into Dragon Ball Z?
I wasn't a fan of Dragon Ball Z. I always just preferred Pokemon, but I could watch it.
What about Yu-Gi-Oh?
I didn't dislike it. Same with Yu-Gi-Oh. I didn't despise it, but I preferred my Pokemon.
Okay, what about Sailor Moon?
No, not a fan of Sailor Moon.
Well, did you know Meatball Head was a variation of Hey Arnold's football head?
Really? Oh, I liked Hey Arnold.
I mean, Olivia Hack, who was Rhonda in Hey Arnold, she was in a couple of episodes of Gilmore Girls in the later seasons.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one thing I found out. And, yeah, Lauren Graham was in a show called Parenthood from the 2010s, but I've never watched it. And Max Burkholder, who was very young back then, in Parenthood, later appeared in the Ted series with Alana Eubank and Georgia Wiggum and Scott Grimes from American Dad. They were in the Ted TV series. Season 1's available online. I really recommend you watch that. If you like Family Guy, you'll like Ted. Have you seen the first 2 movies?
I saw the first one, yeah.
But the TV show is actually better than the movie, so I definitely recommend you go and watch it.
Right, well, I will take you up on that, Jordan. I'll have to have a look at that.
What's your favourite movie growing up, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, so I'm a big Disney girl. I like my Disneys. I love Finding Nemo.
Are you a Pixar fan or a classic Disney fan?
Oh, all of them. Give me all the Disneys.
What about Peter Pan?
Yeah.
My favourite.
Love Peter Pan.
Dumbo's my favourite.
Oh, yeah.
Dumbo, Peter Pan, and Treasure Planet, and Hunchback, and Meet the Robinsons.
Yeah.
Those 5 movies in that order.
Oh, lovely. Well, I like, I think Finding Nemo is probably my favourite.
My favourite Pixar one has to be A Bug's Life.
Oh, A Bug's Life. Oh, I'd forgot all about A Bug's Life. That's absolutely brilliant film.
That was my first Pixar movie I saw when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I classed that as my favourite Pixar movie. Because I never got to see the Toy Story movie when I was younger fully, because I was only a little boy back then, and it came out just a year before I was born.
Oh, right.
So I wouldn't have been born. You know, same goes for Hunchback, but I do like Quasimodo and Esmeralda, and the fact that Demi Moore was in it.
Yeah. Anastasia, that was a good one as well.
It's technically Disney, but Fox originally produced it.
Oh, okay.
But it's on Disney Plus. But
Bambi was a classic. I like Bambi.
I'm not really a fan of Meg Ryan, so I wouldn't take your word for that, I'm afraid. But Bambi, I saw Simpsons parody where Bart had been Bambi and his mother got shot in one of them recent Treehouse of Horror movie shows. Well, Marge Simpson, and the fact that Marge Simpson, his voice is getting so hoarse is because Julie Kavanagh, you know, a lot of people have been criticising Harry Shearer for his controversy, and Dan Castellaneta, who you may know as Homer. But yeah, I mean, Julie Kavanagh, not the best Marge Simpson now. I mean, the early Marge and the 2000s Marge were great, but from season 20 onward, I got a little agitated with Margie's voice.
Yeah.
I mean, take Alex Borstein for Lois. I mean, her Lois may have changed, but at least she sounds like a regular TV mother. And a lot of people have been criticising Peggy Hill, which Kathy Najimy, I class Peggy Hill as my favourite Kathy Najimy role. Because Mike Judge, even though I prefer Hank Hill to Beavis and Butthead, I do prefer, you know, because I'm a fan of, my favourite Nicktoons has to be Rugrats, Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Wild Thornberrys, As Told by Ginger, Chalk Zone and Jimmy Neutron, SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents.
You have given me a nostalgia moment there. As Told by Ginger were my favourite.
Well, did you know the voice actress of Ginger is actually a relative of Walt Disney?
Oh, really?
Melissa Disney is a distant relative of Walt Disney, which I found out over 5 years ago. But SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents, not my type of shows. SpongeBob's been going on for 25 years, and it really should end.
Is that your opinion, is it?
Yeah, I've always...
I don't mind a bit of SpongeBob, it's not my favourite.
Yeah, Fairly Odd Parents, I don't really like... I've been very hypocritical of Butch Hartman, which I don't really... it's not so much not style, I mean... it's just... Fairly Odd Parents is just getting old, and the fact that they've done a reboot, which is even worse than than it's the original and the Loud House. Nickelodeon's just gone downhill for me. And I think Cartoon Network has an all, because I was more of a Dexter, Powerpuff Girls,
Dexter's Lab,
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Time Squad, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Iron Weasel, Cramp Twins, Kids Next Door, Fosters, all of them. But Laszlo was the last best. But as when Ben 10 and Chowder and Flapjack came out, I'm gonna have to go with a thumbs down, because I've always hated Chowder and Flapjack. They were so annoying.
All right.
But
I didn't mind Ben 10. My nephew loved Ben 10 at the time, and we got really into that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say the reason why I don't like it, but a certain voice actress which I had utmost respect for, which I'm not going to mention because we're on the air. This is due to something personal, and I don't really want to go through that right now. Okay. But now Grey Delisle. Now she's a voice actress legend, which I kind of have utmost respect for, because I've been doing a lot of thinking about her recently. I mean, Frank Welker is 78 years old.
Wow.
He's been doing Scooby-Doo since the late 60s, along with Peter Cullen on Transformers, Michael Bell on Rugrats, Smurfs, Snooks, Darkwing Duck, and of course Jim Cummings as Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing Duck, and Pete, and Fuzzy Lumpkins from the Powerpuff Girls, Corey Burton, who you may know as Captain Hook, who we just mentioned a few minutes ago, and Ludwig von Drake, Billy West, who you may know as Woody Woodpecker, Fry, Zoidberg, Professor Farnsworth, all them from Futurama, and my recent modern favourite, Eric Bowser, from the current Looney Tunes shorts. But other than that, that's it for voice actor research. I mean, take Dan Castellaneta, he's been at The Simpsons ever since the late 80s. I mean, even though Simpsons was actually produced in 1989, it doesn't actually say 1989, it just says 1990.
Okay.
So, what are your favourite food, by the way? Do you know?
Oh, my favourite food. I like me grub me Jordan. I like a good Sunday dinner.
Oh, I like pork and chicken and turkey. I'm not really a red meat fan.
Oh, you know. What about gammon? I love my gammon meat.
Nah. I'm ever heard of opposites? Opposites don't always attract, do they?
They don't always, but sometimes they do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of a roasty than mash. I don't like mash, I don't like cauliflower, and I don't like beetroot or mint sauce.
Oh, okay. I like all the foods, Jordan. There's not a food I don't like.
Is there anything that you don't... Is there any drink or Is there any food or drink that you don't like?
No, absolutely not. I'm not a lover of alcohol, if I'm honest.
I've been teetotaled for almost a year and a half now.
I can't pretend I like the taste of alcohol. I mean, I am partial to a drink here and there.
Yeah, I've been
on the occasion.
Yeah, but I drink mostly my juice actually. I'm more of a juice. I only have fizzy pop now, or soda as I call it. Soda pop. I only have it on special occasions, but when I'm out, I mainly just have juice. I always fill up on juice. So, what are your hobbies? Do you like walking? Do you like exercising? Do you like...
Yeah.
I like going for my walk. I've not been walking since Monday because of the warm.
Where do you go for a walk?
Concord, because I only live down the road from there.
Oh right, okay. So you go for a walk around Concord Park?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
and
beautiful park, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do tracking, but I didn't go because of the hot weather. I go to Hillsborough sometimes. Yeah. And my hobbies at home.
Do you go on those tracks on Hillsborough Park, do you?
Yeah,
but you can hire.
Yes, but I think I only go for an hour and a half. But that's only every other Monday when it's no tram lines or anything.
Yeah.
I know that there's going to be tram lines, which I'm trying to avoid because Hillsborough can be very busy. I got to admit.
Yeah, it can.
I mean, Albert Terrace Road. I'm guessing you know the Tesco and Aldi there.
Yes, I do.
Now, there's been rumours that Infirmary Road's Windsor's is about to shut down after 20-something years.
Oh, I hope not.
There's been rumours about closing the franchise down.
Oh, I hope not. Where am I going to get kids' school shoes from?
You could try JD Sports or Deichmann or even Sports Direct down the Moor.
Yeah, I live on doorstep of Windsor's though, so it's very convenient for me. I don't live far from there.
Yeah. Yeah, well that's how I felt when I lost two of my favourite shops in Firth Park, but that's life, I'm afraid. I think Sheffield is not what it used to be.
No.
I mean, that's why I'm thinking of singing a song negatively about it. I mean, take what's her name? Take DreamWorks for example. I mean, DreamWorks ain't what it used to be. I mean, they're bringing back a new Shrek. And Eddie Murphy wants a donkey movie, which I'm not surprised, but...
Yeah, he's quite a popular character, isn't he, Donkey?
But everyone likes Puss in Boots better.
Yeah.
What are your other hobbies, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I like reading. I love reading.
Are you a novel or graphic novel, or do you like picture books?
I like things about history, so I'm really into...
So non-fiction?
Yeah, so I like stuff like about World War II and things like that. Other hobbies, what else do I like? I like playing games, so I'm into my Sims.
I'm not a video game fan. I don't really have time for games. No. I'm more of research, I'm more of a blogger, I'm more of a artist, so if I want to do interactive, it's got to be watched, not played.
Yeah, okay.
Because I don't have time for games. And,
no, I don't have much time.
And I don't do video games. I only know the voice actors because I only know them from ADR groups. Even though they're more popular in video games, I do prefer them in loop groups or ADR groups as I call them. I mean, my dream was to be in a Pixar/Illumination movie. Not so much in the cast, but in the additional voices.
Yeah.
You know, so I could get to play more than one character.
Yeah.
Because I don't like acting on stage, and there's been rumours about me quitting Spectrum, which they don't want me to leave, but I mean, I'd love to sign up for some voiceover classes. My dream was to be an ADR group, so I can record behind the studio. But I'm hoping, for now, just while I'm focusing on looking for an agent, I'm hoping just so I can work remotely. So not just for the UK, but if any casting directors for the US, if people want to send me fan mail, like I've been doing fan mail, I've been doing a lot of fan mail. Yeah. So yeah, I am a fanatic. I'm a fanboy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I can't attend Comic-Cons due to busy spaces. That's why I've been writing fan mail. It's a lot easier and it's a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Just to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Before you go, if you had a message for young Shadi, what would it be and why?
Oh, young Shadi. I think I'd tell her to be kind to herself Not to worry, it all works out in the end. It's all right.
Well, we have. In addition to Pride Month, we've had a lot of people struggling with their mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, I've struggled with mine by putting too much pressure on myself.
Yeah.
And I want to live a life where I can focus on my career and not be such a busybody, because I'm very nosy. And the thing is, I'm trying to keep a low profile, trying to make an honest living without going overboard.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to keep secrets. But since it's my podcast, I only tell people about my career on the air, not off the air. So if people, want to ask me questions, they'd have to join the podcast. But I'm hoping to interview one of my favourite TV presenters soon. I've been meaning to write a fan mail letter to her, which has been, absolute.
Who's that, Jordan?
Ever heard of the show called Milkshake?
Yes.
On Channel 5?
Yes.
Well...
Is it the Mama music?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. She used to be a TV presenter. I've always wanted to meet Naomi Wilkinson and her colleague Jen Pringle, which didn't come on until I was about 9. I watched Milkshake long before that in my mid-noughts. So I was in my noughts at that time because I was about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I watched
try and reach out to her then.
Yeah, hopefully, eventually. I mean, I've already got a fan art coming up, which I'm gonna hopefully give to her eventually, and I'm hoping to do more fan mail to some more UK TV presenters in addition to those voice actors that I just mentioned. Okay, so any final wishes that you'd like to make before we conclude?
No, I'd just like to say thank you for having me, and it's been a pleasure.
Great. Well, I hope you have a great future, and I bid you good luck.
Thank you, Jordan.
Adieu. Good afternoon and welcome back to JazzHandz podcast. Here in this interview, I interview the amazing Melvin Tiernan from Sheffield Hallam.
How are you?
Not too bad, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm doing okay.
I'm glad to hear it. How's it going for you?
Yeah, it's going all right. It's quite quiet in the summer now, with most of the students off for the summers. But it's going good. We're just getting everything ready for next year.
Wow, I'm guessing you're Irish?
Yeah, Northern Irish. I'm from Northern Ireland. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's nice to have an Irishman on my show. It's great to meet you. So,
Thank you.
yeah. So, how's life this summer now?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Just doing a lot of work, like I say, getting ready for the next year at university, and lots of visitors coming to the university to sort of learn about the courses and things. So even though it's the summer, we're still pretty busy here, but it's going good.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. So, before we start, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Melvin Tiernan, and I'm a senior lecturer in animation at Sheffield Hallam University.
Great to hear. So, and how long have you started at, when did you first start at Sheffield Hallam, and how long have you been working there?
Yeah, so I started at Sheffield Hallam University way back in 2009. So I've been here for 15 years, heading into my 16th year, so quite a while.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. I mean, Wallace has told me all about you. Both Emily's have told me all about you and all that. So I'm glad to hear that there's a small world. I mean, I'm sorry I couldn't come meet you at the showcase this year. I had a lot going on, so my apologies.
That's okay.
Yeah. So before we start, I'm just gonna have a look for these questions for you, and then I'll
Hmm.
go ahead and ask you. Let's see, where are they? Just give me 1 second. I mean, we only got 40 minutes, but yeah. Uh,
Okay.
so what is your job title at Sheffield Hallam University?
Yeah, so my job title is senior lecturer and I specialize in animation. That's my job title.
Cool. And yeah, I mean, you used to have you used to have another job at Sheffield Hallam. Am I right?
Yeah, I've been through different roles. So I used to be what was called an associate lecturer, and then I progressed to a lecturer, and then I progressed to a senior lecturer. And I also at one point used to be the course leader for the animation course at Sheffield Hallam.
How fun was? Did you find it fun? Were you serious? Were you inspiring to other students? That sort of thing.
Um, I hope it was inspiring to other students. I did, yeah. I mean, am I fun or am I serious? I absolutely believe in fun. I absolutely believe in having a genuine laugh. And certainly there's many times with the students that we have a lot of fun. Um, especially in discussing ideas or discussing work or projects. I think that's very important. And then, of course, yeah, am I serious? Well, yeah, I'm serious towards teaching the students and sort of being there for them and helping them if I can in any way to sort of develop their work really and develop animation because they're obviously into animation. They've come to university to study it, and it's a lot of hard work. Um, and I respect the student, anyone that wants to develop or learn about animation. I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear it because when it comes to when it comes to inspiring people, I mean, even though I can be a little distracted, I like to know what other people's you know jobs are for that matter. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, but going back to your first question, I know that Miss Stewart told me that you were having like voluntaries to come work at Fly Cheese, which I'm glad she enjoyed. I mean,
Hmm.
she had a great time. I mean, yeah, I mean, 'cause she had a passion for cartoon saloon, I believe.
Yes,
I mean,
definitely.
that was now that's the Irish company, right?
That's right. Yeah, they're based in Southern Ireland. Yeah, Cartoon Saloon.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, question two. So, what have been your most successful outcomes?
Most successful outcomes. Well, at university, I think our students, sort of teaching and working with them, that's been something that I've felt has been successful and rewarding and worthwhile. The students absolutely make the course, and it's all their ideas, all their sort of design ideas and stories that they want to tell, things that they want to do. Um, that always feels successful to me. It's always great in September when the students are back and everything sort of lights up again. It's really good. And then as well, working with a really good team of people on the animation course. Over the years as well, getting to work with some absolutely amazing folks who come with different opinions on animation, different skills in animation, different experiences in animation, and that's something because obviously we 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 can't sort of teach the students 24 hours a day. So when we're not with the students, we're working together as a team of staff to sort of bring everything together for the students. And also the annual degree show screening night that we run each year. That's something that um, I feel is pretty successful. That's been going since 2015. So we had our very first one back in 2015. And for any listeners that don't know, that's we go to the showroom cinema, and all the students' animations, all the final year students that are finishing, their main animation that they've created in their third year goes up on the screen, and we get to watch it with people from industry, colleagues from work, the students' friends and families, and also it's a show that's open to the public, so anyone can come, and it's usually in May time, but that's been really successful. And we just had our last one back in May, and it was awesome. You know, it always is. It's so much work to put together, but it's so great seeing people react to the students' work, and really enjoy the students' work. And yeah, that always feels successful. So yeah, those would be my main answers. Yeah.
Fascinating, fascinating. I know Emily showed her cats feature before she came to work for Fly Cheese. I thought
Yes.
it was amazing. I mean, who knew one of the Fly Cheese future staff members could be a cat lady? If you catch my drift. But
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so basically, because I've been working on a few things. I'm working on publishing some of my comics. I now
Cool.
have a mini series on YouTube called Glory Days, which is based on various classics that I like. Some of them are song parodies. So basically, I am the secret version of, well, I'm basically my own version of Weird Al Yankovic. So I'm a fan of his songs.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
but
cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and what opportunities do you intend? This is question three, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you intend to achieve throughout the future?
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, my mind most of the time is always on the animation course at Sheffield Hallam and the students. So I'd probably say sort of things that I want to work on in the future. It's always developing the animation course, and sort of maintaining that and looking for opportunities for the students to help them with their development in animation. That's always a main one. Also, working on my own short animations. So I've got a couple of short film ideas, short animated film ideas, that hopefully I'll get some time to work on. I'm quite interested in, so my area of specialism is stop motion, and I really love sort of different stop motion techniques. That includes claymation, puppet animation, but also techniques like sand animation, pixelation, object animation. There's so many different sort of types of stop motion animation. I love that. So with those films, I want to sort of use them as a way to explore other stop motion techniques. So that's something I sort of have my eye on in the future, and then developing more animation based research. Because at university, we research often informs our teaching and what we do, and so to sort of I've published some research, and I'm looking forward to maybe getting to do more of that. Because animation, as I'm sure you know, it's so big. There's so many different things that you can do. There's so many different ways to think about ideas, and of course, then there's the technology side, because you have to use, if you're doing stop motion, cameras and software, and then working with other people. I think that's part of the reason animation's so exciting. Um, and we're very fortunate that we've got so much animation that already exists in the world to watch and enjoy ourselves and inspire us. I think that's really important. But yeah, I really sort of focusing on those main things. The course, my own short animations, and then maybe doing some more animation research would be good.
Well, I do a lot of research myself. I mean, that's very
Hmm.
fascinating because I do a lot of styles. My cartoon style is 1940s to the early 2000s because that's my
Oh,
type of
okay.
cartoons. Because I'm more into like cartoons from the two from like 'cause I'm very retro. Because thing is,
Hmm.
some shows from the 2010s and 2020s are like I'm very very fussy. I mean, because I spend most of my time basing cartoons like on caricatures because I know that
Ah,
what once Mr. Stewart and I had discussed about caricatures. I mean, my recent one was based on one of the TED TV series cast members. I love Ted, and
yeah,
yeah, and I mean, and I mean, I mean, I've wanted to meet half of these people, and I mean, they've entertained me
yeah,
for so long. So yeah.
yes.
Okay. Question four. If you had a famous public figure in the world, who would you want to meet and why?
Ooh, any famous public figure? Oh, crikey. Um, I've met a number of, I've been fortunate enough to meet a number of different people that sort of inspired me or have had some positive effect over the years. Let's see. So one of those was so my favorite live action film is Back to the Future, and I got to meet Bob Gale, who wrote Back to the Future, co-created Back to the Future. I got to meet him in person because he'd done a very special thing for our students. This is many years ago. Uh, I did a film presentation and I wanted to show Back to the Future, and I presented about I talked about it for about half an hour beforehand, but I wanted something special for the students. So I reached out and contacted Mr. Bob Gale, telling him what I was doing, and I had a few questions. And I really thought it would be cool for the students to hear from the creator of the film, to explain how the idea for the film was developed. And he very kindly got back and sent me some wonderful videos that I could put in the presentation and play to the students in the presentation. So I did that. It was very, very exciting for me. Students really enjoyed it. The screening went well. And then a couple of years later, I was at a Back to the Future event in London, and they'd said, "Oh, there's going to be a special visitor or a special attendee this weekend." And in my head, I thought, "Gosh, how cool would it be if the special attendee was Bob Gale? Like that would be just crazy, right?" And sure enough, there he was. It was him, and he came. And I got to spend some time with him and thank him in person for taking the time to record those videos for our students. And that was a very sort of inspirational meeting for me. And I'm always thankful for that sort of experience. But yeah, I mean, I suppose that there's two people. Sadly, they're not alive, but there's two people I would love. If a genie appeared and said you can meet anyone, alive or dead, and spend some time with them, definitely two of them would be Lottie Reiniger, who is a famous animator, sort of shadow puppet cutout animation, and Edward Muybridge, who's very famous for studies in motion. Edward Muybridge, I believe, is one of the founding people of animation. I think without the work that they did, animation may not even exist, or if it did, maybe not exist the way it does today. So they're fascinating to me. I'm never going to get to meet them. I read a lot about them. I'm reading a book at the moment about Edward Muybridge, but his life and what he did was just super fascinating to me. Uh, and it went way right back at the start of animation, kind of the genesis point. you know, you could say animation's creation story involves Edward Muybridge.
Oh, I mean, I've wanted to meet a few people. Some of them being voice actors, but
Yes.
mostly because I wanted to train to be a comic book artist and a voiceover artist. But in my spare time, I do a lot of title cards, which I do on Critter, which some of which are on for Glory Days. So hopefully,
Yes.
when this is be on my YouTube channel, I'll be able to show samples to the showcase one day. I mean, I'm working on a season 3 episode right now, but, um, but it's a top secret one, so I can't say too much about it. But it's
Okay.
about
Okay.
but it is about this cowgirl, and it's based on somebody I've um known about for years, who I've admired for years, but haven't been keeping on top of her projects. So, but yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, all I can say is I've been doing research on Alana Ubach, who you may know from Euphoria, the TED TV series, Legally
Yeah.
Blonde, Team Go Supremo, and El Tigre, and Ozzy
Okay.
Hendrix, obviously. But yeah, I mean, Alana Ubach has been one of my, idols. Okay,
Cool.
question 5. Outside of Sheffield Hallam, what are your favourite pastimes and activities?
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Well, uh, first one is just being with my family, spending time with my family of a wife and son, and that's really important to me. And it's, you know, it's not work. Well, it is work, obviously, if you've got a young child, but yeah, that's probably my number one thing. And then beyond that, if I get some time just for myself outside of work, I really enjoy riding my motorbike. Um, I often just uh, get the motorbike out and head off for a trip into the Peak District somewhere, and just really enjoy the countryside, and maybe go to some motorbike hotspots, like Matlock Bath. You know, if you go to Matlock Bath, especially on a Saturday or Sunday with good weather, you'll see hundreds of motorbikes and lots of people out enjoying riding. So yeah, that's something I like to do. And then very recently, maybe in the last 2 or 3 months, I'm not a gamer, by the way, but I really enjoy. I've enjoyed sort of exploring VR, virtual reality, and that's been really fascinating. Um, and it's cool. There's some games on there that are fine, but what I really enjoy is the social aspect. Talking with people on VR is really fascinating, and if any of your listeners have tried VR and maybe tried different apps that let you talk to people or whatever. Um, what fascinates me is that obviously I'm based in Sheffield in England, but there could be someone there that's from Australia, and the sound, not just the sound quality, but how uh, quickly the sound responds. Let's say that there's very little to no lag. It really feels like you're having a discussion with someone on the other side of the world, hearing what they think about things and discussing things. And I just find that fascinating, the sort of social side of VR. I think that's very exciting. Have you ever had a chance to try VR, or anyone that you know?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't do gaming. Period. I like just watching TV shows based on uh, on the shows and stuff based on the games. Because
Yes,
like the Mario movie came out last year,
yes,
absolute cinema, best movie of 2023 next to Elemental and Wish. And
cool.
yeah, wow, a motorcycle and time away from Sheffield. Can I
Yeah,
ask a quick question? Is your son like a child
yes.
actor?
No, he's not.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I just, I was just a bit confused. What, whether it be for work and stuff.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm glad I'm glad you had a great. These pastimes have been fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, question 6. If you had a message for young Pete, what would your advice be?
Oh, a message for young me. That's a really good question. Ooh. Well, I guess, yeah, just based. So I grew up in Northern Ireland, in the 80s and 90s, and anime, we watched, obviously watched a lot of animation, and also at that time there was a lot of information about how animation was created, really, like Channel 4. This was obviously before streaming, so the broadcast, terrestrial channels were all we had. You know, Channel 4 especially would show a lot of behind the scenes, about how animation was created. And so it very quickly became a dream of mine about the age of 7 or 8 to want to do animation. And genuinely, it was the one thing that wanted to do. But the chance of doing it was very slim because at the time it was sort of, you know, it was mainly, well, at least it was portrayed that America was where you needed to be if you were ever to hope to even think about making animation. And then as the years went on, there was a lot more animation being produced in England. So it came a bit closer. Oh, maybe that's possible. But it never really seemed a reality, I think, until after I finished college. Um, and then I went to another college after that to do what's called, a foundation in art and design. It was really only after that universities in England, there were some, but more universities in England started to offer animation as a course. Um, I kept chasing it, but there was a lot of times when I was young where it really did just feel like a dream. To me, it felt no different than children who say, I want to be an astronaut, or something fantastical like that. I would say I want to be an animator. Um, but it was sort of like, it was a cool dream to have. So I suppose I would say to myself, it's okay to dream, and it is possible to be what you want. I think that's probably the first thing that I would say. Um, Also, with life, there's challenging people in the world. And the important thing to understand with people that are maybe challenging is learn from them and then go and find the people who share your passion. Because sometimes it can feel like no one shares your same passion or your same sort of interests or whatever, but they are there. So learn from the people who don't and then find the people who do because they do exist. Um, and then the final thing I would say to myself, oof, I would probably say do not stop drawing. Never stop drawing. So for any listeners out there, that is a top tip. Draw as much as you can, and it's not about how well you can draw or how good you are. Everyone can draw, and everyone can improve their drawing. So do not stop. That is a thing that should be practiced, if you want to make it better. Yeah.
Whoa, that's absolutely fascinating advice there. I mean, I watch a lot of how to behind the scenes and stuff, and
Yes.
it really moves because when it comes to behind the scenes, I do a lot of behind the scenes. Like yesterday, I've just been editing like a feature length fan dub, which I cannot say right now, but it's going to be on.
Okay.
But I can say a little bit. Basically, it's I'm doing like an 85th anniversary for a public domain cartoon. That's all I can say.
Oh.
But it'll be on.
Oh,
But it'll be
cool.
on. It'll be on my YouTube channel next Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on with stuff. I mean, I do a lot of fan dubs because I'm training to be voiceover, as well as doing a few voiceover reels. Like I've just finished my
Brilliant.
resume, and yeah, I do a lot of research. Because the thing is, I go since I'm not a gamer, I go through a lot of sitcoms now that I'm older. So I've been going through
Yes.
Night Courts, I've been going through Wilmore Girls, I've been going through
Mhm.
um, Euphoria only for research. But yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I mean, do you watch sitcoms or are you more of an animation fan completely?
I do watch sitcoms. I'm trying to think what I've watched. I'll tell you what I did watch. So I'm a huge Star Trek fan, and not maybe how long ago? Maybe 7 months ago, I started to watch the Orville.
Oh
Was
yes, that had Scott Grimes in it
Yeah,
from American Dad, which
yes.
in which he, Penny Johnson, Gerald, and Georgia Wiggum, who appeared in a few episodes. The three of them appeared in the TED TV show as Matty, Blair, and the principal, respectively.
Ah,
So,
right.
so if you like the Orville, I definitely recommend the TED TV show. I mean, it's some
Yeah.
of the classic elements that the original Family Guy episodes had from seasons 1 through 3. But uh,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, okay. So, anything else you'd like to declare before we end this? We have about
Ooh,
7 minutes left.
declare. Well, yeah. I mean, to any of your listeners out there that are into animation, you know, keep going at it. If you haven't tried or had a chance to maybe create animation, definitely seek out some way to create some kind of movement in your artwork, whatever that might be. And certainly, obviously, as you do, keep watching animation, so that you sort of have a point of inspiration. And yeah, just keep going. It's a fantastic creative art form, and we're so fortunate to be alive in a time where we have it, and we have the technology around us to give us a chance to create what we create.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Before you go, would you like to hear a impression of one of my characters?
Oh yes, please. Yeah, I'd love to.
Hey there, bro. How's it going, bro? Just here to let you know Glory Days has been renewed for season 3, and Little Hot Finster has been pushed from next year to August 2026. Stay tuned, dude. But yeah, I'm glad.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, lad.
Awesome.
Cool, lad. Is my mascot. But more
Yes.
recently, I've had for Jordan Tyler Love Inc. That's my art division of JT Love Industries. The Wisdom
Yes.
Man has taken on the mas mascot duties. So Cool Lad's only there for the comics and animation part, but the art part itself, the Wisdom Man's there. Like
Yeah.
I have a couple of songs, like the commercial that I did, any cards today, that was kind of based to, you know, build up my career, that sort of thing.
Yes.
But yeah, I know there's a lot gone on with everyone. I mean, there's a lot of movies coming out. I mean, Inside Out 2 has been the highest grossing Pixar movie, which I'm very, very, very proud of because I enjoyed it.
Yes.
Me and my mate watched it um last month. It was absolutely fascinating. I mean, the
Yeah.
characters, the story, it's better than the first one, so I recommend that. So
Cool.
I'm looking forward to this movie called Harold and the Purple Crayon, which has Zachary
Oh,
Levi. It's based on this book. I was supposed to get the book from the library first, but yeah, it's not no big deal. I'm gonna watch the movie first and then read the book, see what I think of both.
yeah.
But
What's
yeah,
that? Harold and the Purple Crayon?
yeah,
Ooh, oh, I think I've seen the trailer for that. Yeah, that one looks really interesting, I think. Um,
yeah. Mm.
because at first in the trailer, the first couple of shots, I thought it was Shazam 2. And then as it went on, I was like, ooh, this looks fascinating. Yeah. That one is that one out now, or is it
No,
to
that
come out?
one's out in next month. It's out on the 2nd of August. So
2nd
I've,
of August. Brilliant.
it has Zoe Deschanel, uh, Alfred Molina as the narrator, and
Cool.
I can't remember the other characters in there, but I think it's really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the closest thing to what Sony have produced animation wise this year. So I'm just a bit
Yeah.
disappointed why Spider Verse didn't come out, but
Mm.
animation does take its time. I know Haley
Yes.
Steinfeld's doing a lot of some other things. Besides Zendaya is with that tennis movie, and obviously with Paul Walter Hauser, who did Orion in the Dark, who also did Embarrassment in Inside Out 2, for those of you who haven't
Ah,
seen it. But
yeah,
yeah. Okay, so
awesome.
I'm guessing if there was like a showcase at Fly Cheese next year, would you be
Yes,
there or not?
I will certainly try. I love the Fly Cheese showcases, and I genuinely mean that. They are absolutely fantastic. And to anyone listening, when the next Fly Cheese showcase comes around, you have to attend. It is just an absolute blast. So much work that gets screened. Always an enjoyable time. And yes, I will do my absolute best to be at the next one. It's great.
Great, thank you, and I hope to meet you in person. Okay, and
Yes, cool.
yeah, it's been great to meet you. That's
And
all the
you.
time that we have for, and I bid you best of luck and great future endeavors. You take care now, and I shall hope to see you soon.
Yes, and you. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, the boy's kinda small,
George shrinks,
but it doesn't show at all,
George shrinks,
because he's always acting tall.
George shrinks,
George shrinks, he's called. If a problem should be found,
George shrinks,
he's the boy to have around.
George shrinks,
Something big and something small. George shrinks, he's called. George often seems to find a way to make his dreams come true each day. His brother Junior does a call.
George shrinks,
Well, Daddy blows a bugle call.
George shrinks,
And Mama keeps an eye on.
George shrinks,
George shrinks, George shrinks, George shrinks, George shrinks, George shrinks.